Everybody, I thought I would just make a little video of a little kind of drawing practice that I do. I'm a total lover of mark making and playing with patterns, and it can be really therapeutic, so I thought I'd share it with you so that you can do it whilst you're in isolation or at home, or if you get bored, or if you're feeling like you want to do something new. So yeah, it will be short and sweet, so you don't have to watch it for hours and hours. But yeah, I just thought I'd share some of my little creative practices with you. So first I would just like to talk about what you'll need. I'm going to use fine liners, and then I've got my trusty rack of pens. I've got gel pens and fine liners in there. You can do it in black, you can do it in colour, it's totally up to you. I'm going to use fine liners and then probably add some colour into them. But if you've just got black pens, that's absolutely fine. My thing would be use what you've got, don't go out and buy other stuff. If you've got black pens and coloured pens, or you've got pencils, go for it. Yeah, so that would be what the resources you'll need. And obviously some paper. It doesn't have to be expensive paper. Printer paper's absolutely fine. That's what I'm using. And I've just put mine on a bit of a board because otherwise your paper gets a bit mucky underneath, depending on how clean your table is. So first I'd just like to invite you to just close your eyes. Close your eyes and take a deep breath and just kind of come back into your body. I know that everything's going a little bit crazy in the world right now, but just take a moment to take some deep breaths, and as you're breathing, you know, focusing on your belly rising and falling. Feel the seat underneath your bum and your feet on the floor, and really ground yourself in the moment. Let go of any worry and tension or things that you need to do or people you'll need to see or not see in this case. Just softening your body and trying to come into a space of relaxation and softness and play and curiosity, and setting your intention just to have an enjoyable time drawing and playing with patterns. I believe massively in setting intentions just so that we can, you know, set the space before we create. It just helps you get into the flow a little bit better and a little bit easier. So this one I am going to have a play with circles. I'm going to use a thicker kind of pen. I've got a 5 there, that'll do. Not 4. Perfect. So with this, what I'm going to do is, and it doesn't need to be perfect, this is not about being perfect, it's about playing. I'm just going to have a play with different circles. So I'm going to draw a little circle with a circle around it. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm wanting to fill the page with kind of like circular, smallish mandala type patterns. So I'm going to do a little spiral in here, so starting from the centre and circling out, and maybe some lines on here. So mandalas are all about layering different layers of patterns, of repeat patterns, and there's a technique called Zentangle, which is the practice of repeat patterns being a very therapeutic and relaxing thing to do. I'm going to put another circle around here. And I feel like I'm going to do some little petals. So starting at this line, coming up, curving round at that line and coming back down. I'm just going to do that all the way around. You You might need to move your paper as you go so that your hand's a little bit more comfortable. And again, if you don't have pen, go for it with coloured pencils, or if you've got paints, you could do it with paints, as it might be a bit trickier. Maybe need some thin brushes or thick brushes. It's just about mark making, really. And I might go around and put some lines in the centre of these. So yeah, it doesn't have to be neat, it doesn't have to be perfectly circular, it's just about playing with patterns. So I'm going to do that same pattern that I've done there, but without a line on the outside. So look, and I'm going to do them a bit bigger so they kind of look like petals. And doing these are great to do for, you know, if you're into maybe painting, you could, you know, do a coloured background and you could draw these on top. I'm going to do some smaller petals inside. And again, letting go of the perfectionist. I think something that we tend to do when we're making art or we're maybe learning from someone else is we judge our beginner phase against someone else's mastery, and then we internalise that and think that we're not good. You have to remember other people maybe have had a bit longer of practicing than you have, and so we're at a different level, so don't just be kind to yourself. I'm going to do another circle over here. What am I going to do? I might draw a line across and section it into 4. And then some more diagonal lines, and do a little line and a dot in each one of these. I could do dot line, dot line. The good thing about if you're doing these in like a black pen is that actually you could go around them and colour them in coloured pencil. You could make your own little kind of Zentangle wall art. I'm gonna do some more thicker lines here, or some more spread out lines. If you have a look on Pinterest and search in Zentangle patterns, you'll get lots of different patterns that you can use in these as well. Some are a bit more complex than others. And I'm going to do little petals in these. I don't know if you can hear my music in the background, but doing this to music is very nice and relaxing. I'm going to do some pointed petals. So for these, you're going to start at one point, you're going to do an S-type curve, like a slight S-y curve, up to a point, and then you're going to do it on the other way, the same on the way back down. So up, curve it into the centre, curve it down. And again, it's totally okay if they're all mixed shapes and sizes, and you know, some might look better than others. I'm going to do a circle and then a spiral in that one. Circle, continue into a spiral. Circle, continue into a spiral. Number 2. Okay, I'm going to do a bit of a bigger one here. And I'm going to draw a love heart in the centre of it. And I'm going to go around it with some petals. Petals are like my go-to pattern design. And also, if you can't think of it, like if you'd like to do your own patterns, have a look in the environment around you. Like, what can you see? So for me, what have I got in front of me? I have got some plants. I've got a spider plant, so I could maybe do some longer petals like a spider plant leaves. I'll do those round the smaller petals. I'm going to do a line and a dot with a dot in. A line with a circle and a dot in the centre. So circle, dot, line, circle, dot, line. Nearly done. Last one. Boom. Started to look good. Do another one here. Might do a little spiral there. And I might do a little flower in the middle of this one. So draw a little circle and then do some smaller petals around it. And I'm going to do another circle around this one. And I'm going to do my like an S-shaped pattern in this. So this one's a little bit more tricky, but it looks really nice afterwards. So you're going to come up, curve at the top, curve at the bottom. So you're doing like an S shape, up and down. I like this pattern. So it almost looks as if you've got like a piece of ribbon that you've folded. If you can't do this pattern, just do some straight lines maybe, or you could do some petals, or I'm going to do big petals and then small petals around this one. That's quite funky, isn't it? Excuse me, I'm eating a sandwich. Okay, let's fill this space up here. I seem to like starting with circles. So I've done a circle with a triangle and I'm going to dot in it. And I'm feeling the triangles. Let's do another circle around this. There we go. Let's do some triangles. So I'm just doing a V against that outer circle. I'm going to do another circle. What shall I do on this one? In fact, I'm going to segment it. So I'm going to do lots of lines with a decent gap in the middle. And I'm going to I'm going to do diagonal lines, and then I'm going to go the other way. Diagonal lines. And go the opposite way for the next one. Down for these ones. I do tend to go quite fast, so if you need to start the video, let me know. Well, no, actually you don't need to let me know, but you can pause it and move on and rewind it. I'm just having a look up some more Zentangle patterns for you, because I've got stuck on the same ones. Lovely. So I'm going to do some triangle, kind of curved triangle petals around this one. And then I'm going to put a line in the middle, and on one side I'm going to do diagonal lines and fill it in. And do the same side for each one. So I'm filling in the left hand side of these petals. Yeah, so if I'm going fast, you can rewind the video, take your time, stop, start it as much as you need to. I just know how much I get out of drawing and just playing with patterns. And I want to be able to share that with other people so that you've got a practice that you can do at home. I think we always forget that we probably used to love drawing as kids. It's still important to tap into that, even when you're an adult. So if there's any kids watching this, try not to lose the feeling of curiosity and playfulness and just giving it a go. It doesn't have to be perfect. I do apologise if I've been spinning this round and you've like lost where you are with it. I'm sure my videos will get better as I practice them. I'll do a circle up here, and I think I'm going to do a few small spirals within it. So I'll start off doing a circle and continue it into a spiral. And then I'm going to do some kind of fatter petals around, so it kind of looks like a flower. And I'm going to do another petal around those, so they've got this type of border thing going on. And in the border thing I'm going to do some stripes. So if you were colouring in, you could do the stripes different colours. You could do 2 colours all the way around. That'd look pretty funky. I'm going to do a nice big black dot in the middle of this one. And then in the centre of these petals, I'm going to do a pointed petal. Or you could be like a leaf shape, maybe. So you'd want in the point to come up roughly around the same point as where these 2 petals dip. Quite liking this one. I'm going to turn these into leaves. So draw a line down the centre, and then you're going to kind of do V's all the way up. So I'm going to start on one side, like the veins on the leaf. So I'm going to do like a teardrop here. So you start from the centre curve it out and round and come back in to the point. In fact, let's add some little ones next to that. So start at the centre, out, make it fatter at the end, and bring it back down to the point. Out and in. So I'm going to do a big one, a small one, and a small one. A big one, a small one, and a small one. I love doing these in my mandalas. It's a nice like filler. Add a little line and a dot. Lovely. Let's do some smaller ones around here. I'm going to do this one quite far away. And do lots of lines. So if you're wanting to do these a bit more perfect, that's fine, just go a bit slower. I tend to work quite quickly, so I wouldn't have this as my like finished piece. I'd probably use this to elaborate on and kind of spend a bit more time making it look a bit neater. Or if you didn't feel comfortable doing it straight in pen, do it in pencil and then go over in pen, because then you'll learn what's it called, muscle memory for doing the patterns that you've done with your pencil, and then when you go over them in the pen because you've done them before, they'll be a little bit easier to do because your hand will remember it. I'm going to do some little petals around here. Yeah, I tend to work quite quickly for these kinds of things. I'm just trying to get out of my head and not overthink it. This is like the playful bit. Lovely. Let's do one down here. I'm going to start with a circle with a spiral. I'm liking the spirals today. I'm just going to do the pointed petal. And I'm going to do another pointed petal in the middle of those two. And I'm just going to continue around like that. So it almost looks like a succulent. This one's gone a bit wonky, but hey ho. We'll keep that one small. Okay, let's do some mini ones here. So I'm gonna do a circle with a dot, and then I'm gonna come up from that black dot. In fact, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the first four like this, and then we can put the other ones in here, look. And I'm going to do some curved petal things and from each point. And I'm going to turn these into leaves. So line down the middle and then add the veins. Line down the middle, add the veins. So these are like mini messy mandalas. And these are great to build up all your inspiration like patterns that you could use in future mandalas that you do. If you didn't know by now, that's kind of like one of the main art forms that I dabble in. These mandala drawings. It's a really lovely practice. There we go. I'm going to do one a little bit different here. So I'm going to draw a circle and I'm going to draw a cross through it, and then I'm going to draw another cross through it. And then I'm going to draw some black dots in the middle of these triangle-y sections here. And I'm going to do some petals. That's just my tablet, ignore that. I'm going to do some more circle lines in between here. Okay, and I'm going to fill in the gap with lots of different sized circles.
I will run, I will climb, I will soar. I'm undefeated, oh. Jumping out of my skin, pull the cord. Yeah, I believe it. Oh, the past is everything we were. Don't make us who we are. So I'll dream until I make it real, and all I see is stars. It's not until you fall.
And there we have it. We have our very own Messy Mandala page. And so this would be great to colour in now. So not only have you made something pretty, you can then spend time colouring it in, which is a lovely process in itself. And that'll bring it to life, definitely. Well, I hope you've enjoyed doing some messy mandala shapes with me and playing with patterns. And I hope you have a lovely day.